Mate. Hello. Today I'd like to tell you about one of the most powerful pieces of free audio processing software that I think you can find. The piece of software is called Composer's Desktop Project. Now that name might be slightly familiar to you. If you've watched a video by Ben Jordan where he talks about the software that Aphex Twin used, CDP is mentioned. This is an old piece of software, but unparalleled. This piece of software that can process sound in insane ways. But the way you used to use it in the era of Drukqs, at that time you would have to use a command line, type words and get output files. What I want to show you today is a piece of software called SoundThread. And what SoundThread is a piece of software by a guy called Jonathan Higgins, and it is a node-based UI for Composer's Desktop Project. In the background, I have downloaded and installed CDP, but it is being controlled by SoundThread. And this means that all of the processes of CDP are able to be used in a way that really could not be more friendly. I'm going to show you how it works. And by the way, a quick install tip. If you just go to the SoundThread GitHub and follow Jonathan's instructions, he gives you instructions on how to install CDP. I would recommend that you follow them to the letter. So here it is. And the way it works is that you have an input file here, and you have an output file here. And we have to put things in the path. And we can right click and get a list of things, or we can type filter or granular if we know the name of the thing. We can also hold Command and E or Control and E on a PC and get this kind of menu, which is like a pretty way of kind of browsing all the various processes that are in CDP. It's important to say there are more processes in CDP than are in SoundThread right now. It is in beta. It doesn't work perfectly, but it's working really well. And again, it's free. So let's make our first sound. What I do is I hold Command and E and I get my little menu and I can look through these and choose a process that I'm interested in. And there are so many different things. And things like Distort, for example, is not Distort like add, warm harmonics to things. It is like really get inside the sound and reorganize it. Here in Extend is Drunk. Random stumbling walk through sound with sober moments. It's good to have at least some sober moments. And then what I do is I take my input sound, but in love keeps shining on through, and I drag the white wire from my sound to Extend Drunk and through to my output file, just like a modular synth. Then when I hit run thread, does sound drunk and occasionally sober. And you can come through here and you can adjust things, change the values and run the thread again. An interesting thing is where you see this wiggly thing, a tilde, you can right click on the slider, add automation settings, and then double click here and draw in automation curves, hit save, run again, and then that value will be moved through those settings throughout the lifetime of the file. Yes, that is just a little taste. Let's do something a little bit more interesting. Filterbank with pitched intervals. Let's try this. Let's change this, make it lower. More Q so it rings more. Yes, mate. These are just some of the many things. If I then think, oh, that's a pretty beautiful sound. What if I wanted to, pitch shift it? And what if, I want to pitch shift it more than once? Let's do that. Granulate pitch shift. Thank you. And then we'll do it one more time. So now what I did is I created 3 pitch shifts. And then I can take the output of this and I can run it into, like this, all 3 pitch shifts, because you can mult things in a modular fashion. And unlike on a modular, you can mix using the cables like this. So now, and I can select these, drag them around, put them in a pretty position like this. And then if I create some intervals, maybe like, 7ths, up 12th, down a 5th, and then actually go Command R. Mate. And it's so simple to do that. Like, I've got a nice sound. I want to make a chord out of it. We'll just call up a bunch of pitch shifts, smash them all together. Very, very easy. I want to show you some of the other time-based things because there's some really fascinating things that make me think of Aphex Twin because I hear those sounds on his records. Now I've got a break from Luke Vibert's Lockdown Breaks. Let's happily envelope bounce outwards. These are very weird and interesting. Basically, it analyzes the sound and looks for transients and then does kind of extension and contraction outside of them. Whoa. Let's look for Distort, Interpolate. That sounds interesting. Oh! This multiplier is going to stretch sound. It repeats it. Oh, so it has and it changes the repeats, so there's a modulatory quality to it. But do you see this is now 1 minute and 35 from a 48-second thing, so you can easily end up with things that are quite long. Ooh. Oh! Mate. 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 Oh, man. Oh, it is really fun to mess with this because I hope this is clear that I haven't had a huge amount of experience with this. I'm literally trying this for the first time today. But what I'm really enjoying is the sense of play and experimentation that comes from not fully understanding, having some descriptions, but not really understanding what you're going to get. It feels very modular to me. It's like having a little modular playground. And I should say, what I haven't been clear of is every time we're running thread in a folder on my computer, here we are getting outputs. Every single time I've run a thread, I have a sound file. Listen to this one. I mean, mate. Oh! This was a sample from a Audio Damage Boom Shack. But in love keep. You know, so all the sounds are there, is what I was going to say until I got distracted by just listening to sounds I made with this. The sounds get outputted. So you do end up with a lot of files, but the point is you don't lose anything. And each time you're basically creating a piece of sample material that you could then use in another program to make music with. It is clear to me that Aphex would have had folders of sounds and would be playing around with CDP, keeping all the bits that he created, and then would be using those bits in something like Player Pro to actually create music. In fact, there are just processes that just immediately I know are from those records. Like, which one was it? Is it Average? That. Those intimately familiar with the album Drukqs will recognize that sound. There's a bit where you can kind of hear that it all devolves into this noise because he has taken a break and put it through Distort Average. Let's filter cue that. I want it to like ring out or whatever, you know, the harmonics. What? I just want to what the what off it. Let's just make that like ring and sing. There is reverb and delay, and there's pitch delays. Big fan. There is a MIDI note number. Well, remember I could do this automation thing where I could make it go from low to high and back down to low and then up again. Here she goes. Yeah. It isn't immediately obvious to you why that is just the most, like, very little. I've done that all in front of you. My God. Super cool. This is free. Here, by the way, there's like sign replacement. Replace things with signs. Ugh. That sounds like a chunky boy, that. Like, while that's in the background, you blend this in with it as well. I mean, what will happen? Look, if you can't dance to that, then it's not my fault. I wish I understood more about all of the process to explain how some of the things are like, so some of the insanity. But there's one here, for example, which is reorder all grains based on how loud they are. Take the entire sound file, analyze it, and then put it in like in series of like from the loudest noise to the quietest noise, and you end up with a descending thing. I mean, mate. You cannot do this as if you can't just like completely, slice the file into pieces and reorganize it. You can't do it in real time. But on the way, I wanted to show you this PVOC thing, which is basically like more mangling things, time blur, spectral things, pitch things. But I just want to mention that you have to first create an analyze. And you may notice that if you have sight that there are white boxes and black boxes. And basically, white is the normal audio realm and black is the PVOC realm. And once you've turned something into PVOC, you need to analyze and resynthesize. That turns it into PVOC and then back into sound. And then once you've turned it into black PVOC, then you can use all of these processes. What? Here we're going to take the stretch spectrum below, and there is an above. We'll take all of the sound below a certain frequency and stretch it. So you can sort of time stretch, based on frequency domain, I think. We move it up, it should mangle more. Oh. And here we go with... Oh. Oh, mate. Oh. That's crackers. So here we have like the PVOC thing happening, and then in parallel I have pitch delays, and then I'm kind of buffer shuffling them with this envelope reverse repeat. And it makes a fruity sort of semi-undanceable beat, but mate, I hope that this has given you a taste for this, and I hope you will try this. This is called SoundThread. SoundThread is free. If you go to the link in the description, you can get a copy of SoundThread, and I would suggest that you follow Jonathan, who's the guy who makes SoundThread's instructions. Follow his instructions to the letter, because it will also explain how to install CDP 8, which you need to make it work. And I would encourage you strongly to give it a go. It is easy to get the hang of. Just right click or hit Command E and then just go through the list and try stuff out and just listen to what it does. It's really simple. I have a Patreon if you want to support me. Link for that is below. Thank you for your attention. Bye.